Hello Year 6 and welcome to Thursday's maths lesson. So for today's lesson we are still working in this book and you need page 23, okay, and it says fraction calculations at the top. Okay, now we haven't done any fractions together in school, however I think you're going to be fine with adding and subtracting fractions, which is what this page is all about. Okay, there's a few simple rules that I know you'll be able to follow. So I'm going to give you the examples to help you, and I think you'll be absolutely fine with it. So thank you so much to those people that have been sending their work in all week. It's been really great to see. You've worked really hard with it. I'm really impressed. Keep the photos coming because we'll love looking at them. Okay, so the first section then at the top here is on adding fractions. Okay, so with lots of them, well, the first couple, you can follow a really simple rule. Now, if the denominator is the same, like on mine here, 4/12 add 3/12, okay, it's really simple, okay, because you can keep the denominator the same. So the denominator is the bottom number. So if both denominators are the same, you can keep it the same when you add, and then you just add the numerators together, which is the top two numbers. So 4 add 3 is 7, okay? So remember that. If the denominators are the same at the bottom, you can keep the denominator the same over here and then just add the numerator together. Okay, so that's the first bit. Now on some of them, on some of your questions, if you look at mine here, okay, so I've got here 2/3 add 1/12. Now on this one, it's not as simple because the denominators are not the same. So the important thing for us now is to make the denominators exactly the same. Okay, so I've got to make both of these 12. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to make sure that you make it the same as your bigger denominator. So my bigger denominator here is 12. So I've got to make my 3, the denominator here, into 12. And I have to do that by multiplying. So I've written it out again for you here. So I'm going to make 2/3 into 12ths, an equivalent fraction for 12ths, because then I can add them easily. So the way I get from 3 to 12 is by multiplying by something. So I'm going to go through my 3's and see how many I've got to multiply 3 by to make 12. Some of you will know that off the top of your head really quickly. Okay, so 3, 6, 9, 12. So I multiply 3 by 4 to make it 12. Okay, so I've made my denominator into 12. Now, golden rule with fractions, whatever you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. So because I've multiplied the denominator by 4, I've got to multiply the numerator by 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, so I've made 2/3 into 8/12. So I'm going to write that down again here. Okay, so that's my new fraction, but it is equivalent to 2/3. And I've done it by multiplying. Okay, so now I can bring my 1/12 down. And because my denominators are now both exactly the same, I can do my addition by keeping the denominator the same and then doing 8 add 1, which is 9/12. Okay, so if you've got denominators that are different, look at your larger denominator and you've got to make your smaller denominator into that by multiplying. So there is your example. Now some of you, if I take 9/12 down here, now I'm happy with 9/12 as the answer there. Once you've got your denominators the same and added them together, I'm happy. But if you want to give yourself a little challenge, you can simplify it. Okay, now the way that you do that is finding a number that you can divide both of these by. Okay, so a common multiple. Okay, so a times table that they are both in. Okay, so I know that they're both in the 3's. So to make it in its smallest form, I can do 9 divided by 3, which is 3, and 12 divided by 3, which is 4. Okay, but like I say, you don't need to do that step. I'm happy with when you denominator is the same, I'm happy with the answer there. But if you want to challenge yourself and try and find a times table that both the numerator and the denominator are in and simplify it, that would be a really good challenge for you. Okay, so that's the adding fractions. Now subtracting fractions is really similar. It's all to do with the denominator being key. Okay, so you'll find on the first couple, in this second section here, your denominators are the same again. Okay, So if I show you on this one, I've got 5/8, take away 2/8. So because the denominators are the same, that can stay the same. Okay, so I'm going to keep that the same because they are the same. And then I can do 5 take away 2, which is 3. Okay, so when your denominators are the same, keep the denominator and then subtract the numerator, your top number. So 5 take away 2. So again, really similar then. If you've got different denominators, so like here, I've got 1/3 take away 1/6. I need to make sure that both denominators are the same. So I need to change 1/3 because my bigger one is a 1/6. Okay, so I'm going to change this one into 6 to make an equivalent fraction. Okay, so I'm going to bring it down here. Okay, so I need to make 3 into 6 by multiplying. And I know that 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so I've got to do the same to the numerator. So 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, so now I've made it into 6ths. So now I can bring it down here because it is an equivalent. So 2/6 is equivalent to 1/3. Bring this one down because that's already 6ths. So now I've got the same denominator. Okay, and then I can do 2 take away 1, which is 1. Okay, so remember your denominators need to be the same. Okay, and you do that by multiplying. So if you're not sure, keep coming back to this video and remind yourself. Okay, now the last bit is exactly the same. So you're either adding or subtracting fractions, but then you've got to give the answer shaded in on a little grid. So like the first one, sorry, I'm just getting it so you can see, is 7/12 take away a half. Okay, so I'm going to do that first one with you. Okay, so 7/12 take away 1/2 is the first question. Now, we haven't got the same denominator, so we're going to have to change one. So we need to change the smaller one, okay, and we're going to make it the same as the bigger one. So I'm going to make my half into 12ths, okay? So I'm going to keep 7/12 the same. Now I need to make 2 into 12 by multiplying. So I'm going to put 2 in my head, see how many times I've got to multiply until I get to 12, and it's 6. I'm going to multiply it by 6. I wrote 2 then. And that's 12. Okay, and then because I've multiplied the denominator by 6 here, I've got to multiply the numerator by 6. So that gives me 7/12 take away 6/12. So I know that 7 take away 6 is 1, and I can keep the denominator the same. So I found my answer, which is 1/12 here. Okay, so then it asks you to colour that in on the grid at the bottom. And you'll see that this little grid here, sorry, let me just get it in the right place, is split into 12. Now my answer was 1/12, so I just need to colour one of those 12 boxes in, okay, because that's 1 out of 12. Okay, so I'm only going to give you just page 23 to do today. There's a lot of working out on there, and it's something new. Okay, so please make sure you go back, pause the video if you need to, and if you get stuck, get in touch on the Year 6 email. Looking forward to seeing everybody's pictures today.